Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is Disco Elysium. So before I get into the game, yesterday I did notice that the game volume was way too low in my video, as well as my voice was kind of low as well, because I was trying to listen to it while I was at work to kind of see where those levels were at. And yeah, I did not do a recording before I jumped in yesterday, because I recorded the Expedition 33 video and then I jumped straight into the Disco Elysium video. And I am so sorry for that first video having extremely low volume for the game. Hopefully this is much better. I did a small test recording before this and I could hear the menu music and myself talking in the headphones, so hopefully that works out better. I did get some helpful feedback from my friend on Discord that I need to read the responses of, what I'm choosing. And I thought I was doing that yesterday. I guess I got kind of just caught up and wasn't in, recording mode in my head. I kind of defaulted to just playing the game. And then the screen, I moved it to the left, the camera, that way you can see the dialogue box. And yesterday I forgot to turn off Discord overlay. That should be off today, so after all that, hopefully this goes a lot more smoothly than yesterday did. And not only that, but people have said that I'm being too cautious with my choices, like dialogue choices, and not to be as cautious. So, I mean, I'm still going to play it like how I logically think it would happen, right? But, like the woman that I met at the beginning, apparently that's something that I missed out, a big dialogue option before I talked to, what's his name? Kitsuragi, I think. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the game. From yesterday, I remember that I woke up drunk. I found my shoes. I met the other detective. I talked to an asshole bartender, manager, and then I found a body, and I'm trying to figure out how to take the body down from the tree. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Yeah, don't be afraid to say weird things. People are more forgiving of police officers. And that's another helpful thing that I did not know. You can hold down the right mouse button to highlight things in the environment to check out. So that will help out a lot. I really wish I would have known all of this beforehand. That way yesterday would have gone a lot more smoothly. But it is what it is. I'm not going to take that video down and re-record because I want my first impressions to be genuine. Just going forward, hopefully the playthrough is a little bit more smooth. So, looks like we have some footprints over here. Let's go ahead and check this out.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Okay, so I can say what kind of boots, or do a visual calculus with the medium difficulty. I'm going to try the visual calculus.
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud.
Yeah, I'm going to go over them one by one.
1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46.
Let's say count more.
5. Another standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, same make of boot, but number 41.
Male or female?
Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped.
Yeah, it's more than likely a child then. So count the rest.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others.
Okay, so
the weight exceeds 200 kilograms.
This is either a really fat person or they are carrying the body.
8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20.
Same guys are going back and forth, way off, way. I'm gonna say nothing.
I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary?
So, I'm thinking the heavy one, obviously, and the aberration and the where the soul is smoother than the other one. I guess I should ask how old the tracks are. So yeah, how old do you think these tracks are?
A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
Okay.
It is not impossible.
How do you know?
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Okay.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
Okay, I'm gonna do the heavy one and then the aberration.
200? Could it be the combined weight of two people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be-dead man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
See, one of them was carrying him over, and maybe it was a giant. It could have been an extremely obese person. I mean, it could have been an extremely obese person. But I do think the possibility of them carrying the body is, true as well. I'm gonna look up how much kilograms to pounds are because I'm an American, so I don't know the metric system. I know the weird imperial system. So 200 kilograms to pounds. Okay, no, that is definitely not. I mean, 440 pounds is an extremely obese person, but I think that's more than likely the two people, 200 pounds each. That's still pretty heavy set for people. So yeah, I think one of them was carrying him over.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
You're thinking, why did they have to carry him, or let it be? Possibly, yes. So the lieutenant marks something down in his notebook. Right, okay, but why? You're thinking, why did they have to carry him? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
I mean, I'm thinking he possibly wasn't conscious.
Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see?
I said maybe the victim wasn't conscious. I forgot. I need to be reading these out loud. So I'm going to point out the aberration.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul.
Do you have any ideas, Lieutenant?
Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer?
So one of the people we were looking for is a drummer?
No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on.
Yeah. Nod thoughtfully.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no?
Yes, prudent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the lieutenant writes down the information down. Writes down the information down. The lieutenant writes the information down in his notebook, then reverts to the tracks in the mud. I guess I could point out the light step, but I think that's either could be a woman or a child. I guess I'll point it out anyway because it's a dialogue option.
A woman or a kid?
I don't think there's any way to be sure.
Understood. Anything else?
Okay, so what do you think happened here?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of obvious.
Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
Yep.
Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang.
Yeah, I think
This
we have
is
a firm
easy.
understanding of what happened here.
The lieutenant's eyes narrow. He's thinking to himself.
Either way. What else?
I think that's it, so we've been through all of it. I still want to get the body down. It's kind of weird that,
There he still is, looking right through you.
yeah,
with
this
his
is still
white
the same
eyes.
thing from yesterday. Health, morale. Right in the dick. I could talk to him again, or I could go over to this kid. Let's check this. What is that, a box? Let's see, we have money and magnesium. I'll take both. Let's go talk to this kid over here.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Let's take one step closer.
Like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
I just want to ask some questions. I'm not going to take you to jail.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Child, converse with me. That's a little shady, don't you think? Yeah, I'll say child, converse with me.
Murder was the case they gave me.
She has almost vanished behind a fence, only the top of her hat remains. Okay, okay then. Let me see in the options if they have a thing that will read out the other stuff. So voiceover mode is full, psychological, or classic. All voice dialogue, everything except the narration, and only voice introductions. I'm gonna go with full voice acting. Let's see. What is streamer mode? Replaces certain copyrighted pieces of music with alternative tracks safe for streaming. I think I'll be okay. I probably won't be monetized, but I hope it doesn't get like a DMCA and I have to go through and like do something. You know what? I'll go ahead and check that just to be safe. So, I thought it would prompt me for hardcore mode because my friend on Discord told me to play with hardcore mode. It's weird that it's a toggle. I'm gonna go ahead and engage hardcore mode.
Hardcore!
Dyslexic font. I think everything should be good. Let me quick save real quick. The letter R wears a crown on the ribbon below, a light above descending.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still.
If it's not connected to the case, I don't really want to look at it right now. Exactly. I mean, I want to be thorough, but again, I feel like this game is going to be one where certain interactions will like lead to outcomes that I don't necessarily want, especially since I have hardcore mode enabled now.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Okay, so we have perception sight challenging. Why am I looking at this pile of roofing material, or what is... I'll say, what is this?
It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack
Okay. I thought it was like a door or something that I could move to get over here. Because I can't just click over there to go over there. Let's go this bucket right here. Not sure how to get there. I don't think there's a way you can, like, turn the camera around. Is there? I don't think I talked to this person earlier. Let's talk to them.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with?
I have some questions for you.
Of course. What can I help you with?
Guess I can say we need directions, maybe?
Of course. Where to?
I'll say, where am I?
What do you mean?
I'm a bit disoriented. This is a Reva call, right? I think that's how you say that. I'm not sure.
Yes, sir. District of Martinez. This intersection is called Roundabout North.
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
The lieutenant seems uncomfortable with the level of disorientation you're displaying. So yesterday I said that I was not going to let it be known that I was having memory issues. So that's not good. Okay. Let's say, what is up in the north?
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really.
Okay, what's in the east?
The harbor gates. Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too.
What is a freight store? What is in the south?
Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably.
What's on the other side of the canal?
Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago.
Okay, what is in the west?
It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach.
Okay, that's all for now.
No problem.
I guess I could ask who she is.
Me? I am just a gardener.
Good to meet you, just a gardener. I mean, that seems a little nosy to just be like, Colin, what are you doing here? I guess I'll say good to meet you, just a gardener. Another question, then.
I am pleased to meet you too, officer.
I have to run.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
She wipes her brow with the canary yellow glove.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Okay, one more thing. Can I borrow your gloves?
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
She hands you the rubber gloves at no visible annoyance. Good. Thank you. So I need to equip these if it doesn't already, I guess. Alright, and can we go and get... Oh, I didn't even see all this yesterday. I found my other shoe. See, I need to report my badge missing, pay for the damages in the whirling in rags, and then figure out who reported the crime. Maybe if you find out who it was, it may shed new light on the events. You have an idea where to start, but the caller could have been anyone. Call Sylvie using Kim's shortwave to ask whether she made the call, and that was the person, the bartender, maybe, I think, that the guy approached, and she kind of got weirded out by or something. They went on a date and she didn't like him. Wait, what do you mean? I found my other shoe, didn't I? Or did I not put it on? I don't know. That should be in the done category, I thought. But... Oh, and there's a map too. That's nice. But what is this? Oh, I actually have to acquire a copy of the city map. Okay. Anything else? Health, morale, bonuses from items. This is where I can level up, I guess. Okay, let's go try to... Oh, wait. A heap of snow melts in this wheelbarrow. Okay, what does this say? This over here. Pigs go home. The street name is illegible. Okay, then. Definitely don't like cops here. Now that I have these gloves, let's see if I can grab the body off of the tree. Okay, double click to run. That's good to know. I was getting kind of tired of the slow walk speed.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes.
Yeah,
the body
I don't...
below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
Let's let it out. I'm assuming that means vomit. Yeah.
You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
I'll just say, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Happens to everyone.
The lieutenant hand you his
Keep it.
white handkerchief. Yeah, thanks, and I'm gonna
The
wipe him out.
hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
You think ammonia would help?
If you can handle the headache. Some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor.
But not you?
I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
Okay, yeah. I'll just say I don't need that shit.
Sure you do. You just threw up a lot.
Okay, fine. Where do we get the ammonia from?
There's Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't...
And he points to the greenhouse.
There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Okay. Thought I had has a handkerchief. So don't think that's anything I can like equip, right? Let's go back and see what the gardener says. I feel bad asking her for something else since I already took her gloves, but let's ask.
There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet.
Thought I already grabbed my other shoe. Weird.
Like two baby crocodiles.
Two baby crocodiles? Wait, these do not look like normal cop shoes.
It's pretty clear a normal cop is not what you are.
How do they fit?
Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now.
I didn't understand what it meant by how do they fit. I thought it was like a genuine like question, not like, oh, let's see how they fit, you know. Okay, so now let's talk to this woman.
I can't believe it's snowing again.
Young woman watches the falling snow and
It
sighs.
felt like springtime just a few days ago.
Okay, my partner told me you may have ammonia. Can I have some?
Sure, I'm done with it.
She takes a small capsule out of her breast pocket and hands it to
Go
you.
easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
Okay, thank you for the ammonia. Let's run back over here real quick. So how do I use this stuff? I don't think I equip it like that. Like I don't put it in my the hand slots. So maybe it will let me do it when I select the body.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm just gonna try this again, maybe?
There he still is. Look, the pneumonia
Okay,
only
yeah.
makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts. You manage to keep it in once. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
I don't think I want to be a cop anymore. I'll just say the ammonia didn't help at all.
Nor does the wind right now.
You feel the lieutenant pat your back rhythmically.
The weight is reassuring, like a krenel on solid fortification. Pat, pat, pat.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder.
I'll say, why can't I keep it in if I've been a cop my whole life?
I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, bag it.
You pass your back again. I like this guy. He's nice.
Then drive to the station.
So far.
Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough.
You seem to be fine.
I think I've lost my sense of smell.
There was a pause.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too.
I guess I can say do it without me. I just can't keep it down. I don't want to do that though. Like that seems a little unfair. I don't know.
This is a two.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help.
He withdraws his hand and looks you in the eye.
You need to get your shit together.
Yes, I do need to get my shit together. Yeah. My shit already is together. But I don't want to get my shit together. Shake your head no. I'll say okay.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it for special bonuses and effects.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Okay, then I will turn away. And so I have a thought cabinet. Volumetric shit compressor. Your shit is apart and it's rather unbecoming of a cop and a human being. It's supposed to be the opposite of that together, compressed in a small area to achieve a solid level of shit compression. Squeeze your butt cheeks together for 30 minutes. Do something similar with the 2 hemispheres of your brain. Talk to people, maybe that will help. Sure. I gotta get my shit together. I guess we can always just check out some nearby buildings. Here's another person we haven't talked to before.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
The other one is eating a big sandwich.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Sure, alright, I got this, ball time.
That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime.
Sure, I'm gonna grab the ball and show them how it's done.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work.
Feel the ball, take in the surroundings, let go, be the ball. I will let go and be the ball.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
I'm assuming I wasn't supposed to throw it in the water.
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters. Probably 24, and then some. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
What the hell is your problem?
Not a weak right tricep, that's for sure. Problem, I don't understand.
You vandalized our game, son! We can't play pétanque with 5 bull!
I thought it was shot put.
Well, it damn well isn't. It's pétanque. You ruined a pétanque game. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
Listen, guys, the ball has gone and I have a murder to solve, alright? I'll try to fix it. Okay, I will try to fix this.
Good. Mistakes are forgiven when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
Yes, why did you come here? It's unlikely they know anything about the murder.
Because I was trying to wait out the time for the body to stop stinking to where I could pull it off of the tree.
You never know. He might know something. This is a good vantage point.
Do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard of Whirling in Rags?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
But you don't have a problem with cops.
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
So again, you don't know anything?
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing.
Okay. I'll just say thank you for your time. And I need to go get their ball back somehow. This coin-operated veer has been banged up and operable. Let's see if I can go down there, because I think the ball went down this way. I don't think I'm going to be able to... Oh god, a splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. I don't think I'm going to be able to get their ball back. I'm going to have to buy them a new ball or something. Some money? What is this? Food on the ground? A yellow plastic bag. Sure. Let's talk to this guy. Listen, boy, I don't start trouble, I fix it. Okay. I've been kicked out of every joint in Revacol. It's just a drunk guy. He's not gonna give me anything important. The ad reads broken window. Tibbs has windows. Okay. Enormous bowls worthy of a real man. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair, and the tools used to disassemble it. Okay. Can I get on the boat? The room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. Okay.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Okay, she steps closer and holds her hand out over the railing. Joyce L. What does the L stand for? RCM, what is that? I'm a little foggy here. What gave us away? I'll shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
That's, creepy.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Okay, so tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
So it's Revacholian, not Revacol. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, right? That doesn't sound too good. Who are the other Indo-tribes?
Son Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. Okay. Got it, tell me something
She
else.
nods.
What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Tell us more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Okay, so Gaumont was talking to Claire, which is the union boss. Claire refused to speak to him, despite concessions he granted the union in prior negotiations. Okay.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Okay, what's the demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Over-aggressive commie posturing. Personally, yes, I do think that is over-aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business, that too. I don't know what to think about that, and I like it. Forget it, I wanted to ask something else about the strike. I'm going to say it's over-aggressive commie posturing.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
I know what that means. That means collective ownership, essentially, of the company, I would assume. What does that even mean? I'll say that, though.
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit. The workers can't be kings, the king is king. The king is dead, long live the workers. What are you going to do? So that's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to get paid for striking, you know, that long, but... Okay, so what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Okay, tell me about the union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. So what about the union itself outside of the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
So here's the thing about unions and collective bargaining. I am completely for collective bargaining. I think that workers should be able to go to their boss and say, here is what we want. Can you give us, concessions for us to move forward and, have good working conditions. Unions, on the other hand, there are some good unions and there's some bad unions. I think when a union typically gets too large, it essentially becomes just the same thing as like a corrupt corporation, where it exists solely to siphon the money out of the workers' pockets and don't really get anything done, because basically what ends up happening is you go and try to talk to your boss, and what they're going to say is just, oh, go talk to your union rep, So I'm not exactly pro or anti-union. I do think unionization is good in some ways and it's bad in some ways. I'm more like in the middle. I think general collective bargaining is the way to go. And when you start scaling it up to where it's almost like a corporatized union, I know that's a weird, almost like oxymoron, but a corporatized union, that's when I think it gets a little too far. Now, these people in particular, I don't know. Kim Kitsuragi says they're a mob and a crime syndicate, and the brothers don't sound like good people, so I don't know if I want to say that they're an effective advocate for the rights of local working men, but I also don't want to say that they're a giant leech as well, or a socialist mob. I don't know. I mean, I assume so if they're sitting there saying that they basically want collective ownership of the means of production, as in everybody is an equal part owner of the company now. They all have like a democratized vote on every single decision. I generally don't think that's how business should run. Again, I'm not a socialist, so I don't know. I'll say I prefer not to have an opinion on these things because, well, let's see. I could say, or I could say basically a socialist mob. I'll say basically a socialist mob. Let's go for the bit, I guess.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
And so what happened to this Gaumont? I think that's how you say that name again.
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Well, okay then. Yeah, okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union.
Okay, so one more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Yeah, that is eerie. Maybe it was some kind of extortion scheme? I'll just say eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Okay, so that's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
Okay, what can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Fall silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
I don't have my badge!
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Yeah, remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. Yes, definitely. It's called I drunk myself into a stupor and passed out on my floor and threw my shoe out the window. And I have no idea where any of my stuff is.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yeah, it's possible after a night of heavy drinking I lost all memory of my life and the world. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing. Yes. Again, I don't want to sound like a crazy person. Yeah, let's just say I drank. It was because of the drinking.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
God damn it.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Okay, so how do I negotiate my way out of this? Kind of a 50-50 split almost. Let's try it.
Feelings will guide the way.
But madam, I need to know about this lynching. It is very important to me. It's the case I'm solving.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
I don't want to sound too desperate. You don't understand. It's not like a side case for me. This is my main thing. The other one is you have so much else. I only have this. This is the entirety of my existence. I'll say this is my main thing.
Trust me, officer. I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
I guess I have to say that then.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
This boat, for example, and a home somewhere. I only have this case. Literally nothing else.
Officer.
This case is what I will be known by. No, I don't remember anything except this lynching. There was only this coast and this lynching.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Yes, excuse us for a moment, madam.
Volumetric ship compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit's singularity lasts.
Okay, all endurance white checks unlocked. Learning cap for endurance raised to 4. Okay. What the fuck? This game is weird. I want to talk to you. How do I talk to you? There we go.
Quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
Okay, how did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Really? I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
Let's see. Oh, we could just, find my badge. I guess.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
Yeah, definitely.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months.
That is a very inefficient station. Take months to make a single badge. Okay, let's see. The company must have more on the ground. She could have known about my condition. What do you propose that we don't investigate the drug trafficking? And then let's go back to her then. I don't think it's possible that she heard about my condition. I mean, I literally just woke up. So let's say, what do you propose that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
That's a good idea. I guess I'll say this. I don't really think she would know, but...
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to admit.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a professional, after all.
So let's get back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, so tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients with the Union's blessing.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Yeah, exactly.
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials came from Samara to Revachol. I always want to say Revachol. through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Okay, I hope you're writing all this down, Kitsuragi.
While Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, man. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
Okay, and you want us to investigate.
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
And I assume you know what that weak link is.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
The lorries.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Okay, so let's see. There's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it? What proof do you have that the Union is involved? We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching. We do. I completely forgot about that. Okay.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, so what proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay, so, let's see. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
Yeah, that pissing match they were talking about.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Okay, so it's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it? Or, yeah.
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
It's kind of shady, don't you think?
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm going to take the case. We'll take this case, probe the drivers, and see what it
Excellent.
yields.
According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
You seem rich. Can I have some money? I don't know if I want to say that or not. Right now, I'll just say thank you. That's all for now.
Of course, Detective.
Yeah.
Take care.
I think I'm about to get into a large conversation at the roundabout, so I think I'm going to end it here today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to play a little bit longer. And yeah, it's getting a little bit more interesting. But getting more into the story now. This case is a little bit more nuanced than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, I'm really liking this game so far. And I have a feeling it's going to get to a point where eventually I'm going to want to play it for hours on end. You know, like I was saying in a chat earlier, whenever I start a new game, it takes me a bit to get into it. But once it grabs me, it kind of takes me along, and I'll play for way too long. I feel like this game is going to do that eventually. It's not quite there yet. It's getting a little bit more, you know, interesting now because the case is kind of opening up a little bit. And I love detective fiction. So yeah, this is really interesting to me. And I'm sorry for the slight distraction there. My wife came in with some food, which is awesome. But yeah, really cool game so far. Politically, yes, it is getting more into the weeds now with the whole union strike and everything. And I can clearly see what the choices are kind of guiding you towards. Much like I thought it kind of would. But like so far, it hasn't been too like overtly. I don't know how to put it. Divisive yet. I don't think it's gonna get that way until a little bit later. But yeah, so far, pretty good time. I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully tomorrow again, I'll be able to play a little bit longer. Hopefully everyone finds this volume level a lot better than yesterday, and you'll actually be able to hear the game. And let me know if I am being a little bit better, like more thorough in my conversations instead of being a little too apprehensive about who I should talk to and what I should say. So yeah, that's it. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video. Comment down below and tell me what you think. And stay tuned for more Disco Elysium in the future. And hopefully some other videos soon. I'm sorry that I was gone for over a month since my last video. I've kind of just not had the motivation to sit down and play in front of a camera, you know. But trying to change that and get more content up on the channel. So yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow in the next video.